Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for February the 6th through the 12th, 2023. So before I begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone back to this weekly series and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. So I have a few announcements to make, especially on behalf of a friend. This is actually the second time I'm recording. I had gotten boy, um, 25 minutes into the video, realized that it had stopped recording for some reason, and I really hope it doesn't happen again. I don't keep my eyes open the whole time, so I didn't notice. Um, and we'll just pray that the information that um, needs to come back through or come through is what will occur. Um, so, a few things. First, I want to welcome everyone back, and I just want to make sure that you remember to select the all notification bell, um, to like, dislike, and to leave comments. That's really important as it completes the message um, that we're bringing through. As you all do know, or may not know, I connect in with the collective I am presence of each one of you. I call you that in and your ascension team. And then the information that comes through is the result of that. It's a translation of that. Therefore, your comments are equally important as you're watching this. Anything that impacts you throughout the reading is then something to be shared with everyone else. So it's really the fulfillment, the completion of the message is found in what you are receiving. So please be generous in your hearts in sharing that. There have been many of you started doing that, and it's really profound. So I really encourage everyone to not just to watch the video, but also to read the comments. Now, also, if you, after watching the video, if you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my website, theangelschool.com/services. There's a link below this video. And you can still sign up for the first time promotional offer for this month of February, which is open to everyone still. And then the if you just like to donate to my channel, you can go to my link, PayPal me link, which is also in the description area of this video. Now, a very good friend of mine who's a part of a healing group that I've been a part of since, I don't know, 2007 or somewhere around there, maybe six, no, 2007, I believe, yes. And there was a group of us, and we met through one of our teachers, um, Kim Sear, and doing like medical mediumship work. And but we eventually ended up meeting at one of the members' home, um, at her home in um, her beach home. And we stayed together for a weekend, and it was like coming home, honestly. And we all believe that we must have known each other as a group in an ancient time. We all feel Lemuria, and that we just, like there's no karma, there's no issues between us. It's just this incredible unconditional love, and we haven't had an opportunity to get together in a while, several years, and but we keep in touch individually. But soon, I hope we can get together again. So her name is Margaret Bryant, and she's now living in Egypt, and she's doing a workshop um, called the Divine Feminine Lady Masters. It will present the ascension, how to navigate. It'll present the teachings on how to navigate the ascension process with Lady Isis, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Hathor, the White Buffalo Calf Woman, and Green Tara. And this is going to happen tomorrow. So you post this today on Saturday, but it's going to happen on Sunday, February the 5th at 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And her website is seekthelightwithin.com. Okay. So I hope you get a chance to um, check out this very special event opportunity. All of the information is in the description area below with the link and the cost. Okay? And just a few more details. All right, so let's now my hope is this week is to be able to work on the monthly angel scopes. I haven't done it in a long time, but I just had a lot of things with the colonoscopy and some other things last week that I had to do as well. So some important appointments. So I will try. I know we're already into the month, but I will try to um, work on them. All right. So we're at the point where it cut off last time. So I'm going to ask us now to just tune in to our heart spaces and just take a deep breath. And as you breathe into your heart space, see a golden door open so that as you exhale, that door just flies open. And it's like springtime to your heart. Because when we keep our hearts guarded, closed off, or shut down, it feels like a very lonely, cold winter. And when we open up our hearts, it's like springtime. It's like love is in the air again. Yes? And so it's very important for all of us now to, to start being intentional in keeping our hearts open and flowing, letting the energy flow even in the midst of facing our fears and challenges that are coming from the outer world. So they're showing it to me again, what they showed me earlier, and it's the umbrella. And an umbrella, in my symbolism with the angels, is a sign of protection, that they're protecting you from any storms. And they're even dropping like one of those umbrellas which I wish they would invent, or I wish I could find one, where it just drops all the way down to the ground so that as you walk, you will not be um, getting soaked, right? So you have full coverage. And the image that they were giving me earlier, they were making me think of April showers. Now, I'm going to come back to that because the energy of that we've been feeling recently, and they say this is going to be going on for about a month. So, the thing about April showers, first of all, is that it brings new opportunities, new growth. So those showers, and the other thing about April showers is, I feel that's different, is that it's not cloudy and gray, but it's golden and there's sunshine. So it brings this sense of hope and renewal, like a newborn baby they're writing. And even right now, if you could just think of a newborn baby, your own or someone else's, and when you were looking at them, the peace, and just even if you can't feel it or sense it right away, just know that your heart is opening to this rose golden energy they're writing. A beautiful rose gold, but very bright, very light rose gold aura emits from your heart in exchange with the heart of this newborn. And you might even just be aware of its peaceful movements and the little smile that comes on its face while its eyes are closed as it's been entertained by its angels. And now your angels and the guardians of light are surrounding you now, enfolding you in this cosmic energy of divine love. And for many of us, this kind of level of peace and harmony and balance is something that we've become very protective of. And what it does, it makes us sort of go into our sacred spaces, sort of like our caves, and we're sheltering more. We're hunkering down more because we the energies are really intense. They're intensifying. And the reason for this intensity is because now our divine assignment is about to launch. Our purpose for being here on the planet at this time, in the midst of its incredible and unprecedented transition into a new golden age. And whereas before, what we've learned to do is just sort of hide out, because let's just face it, stepping out on our spiritual path is not easy, as most of us found. Um, we were drawn to this sense of returning home, to that feeling like a newborn baby, that that very um, close connection to the frequency of source. But what we weren't imagining was just how much this awareness would really open us up, and the courage that we would need now that we're walking on this path of very high standards of integrity. This is why there are not many to that we find in our um, sort of immediate communities. It's rare to find many others walking that path with us because it requires a higher level of commitment to an integrity that the 3D reality does not operate within. And so we find ourselves like the odd one. Now, I don't think I know I wasn't like a popular person kid because for so many different reasons growing up in high school. If you were, that could be even more difficult. If you were used to being popular and everyone in your life, you shared you shared the same values before you started this process, and you talked alike, you thought alike, that whole thing. Um, that I can imagine is really shocking. For me, not so much, because since I was 3 years old when my mother came in the room and, you know, disagreeably introduced the idea of being gay as wrong, um, well, that ended my comfort zone, my comfort with the world and sense of security and safety, especially under sort of a religious umbrella. So I've never felt this kind of connection or um, um, yeah, shared beliefs and ideas. I knew right that day I knew something was going to be very difficult for me. But either way, even then, it's still shocking, and you feel more, you experience everything, and it can be like, okay, it's time to just shelter in. And maybe for a while that was okay, so that you did a lot of internal work in terms of spiritual growth. So, the hermit. And so you become wiser, and you understand a lot more. You did not escape challenges within your hermit's cave, obviously. They just were intense, but you had sacred space to to shelter, to manage, to fight off, so to speak. But now, these golden showers, this sort of April shower energy, is new, a whole new dynamic of information and opportunities. And most importantly, it's information. And it's coming from this golden ray of the Christ consciousness. It's coming from this 10th dimensional frequency. And and it's really about you learning to go with the flow. So instead of trying to avoid or skirt around or shelter in, they now want you to stand in your power, because the ego has been projecting an illusion, telling you the worst outcomes, so that it limits your expression of your truth, your light. When you are insecure or anxious or whatever, it limits not only your expression of your talents and your gifts and your creativity, but it limits the expression of your light, which is the alchemical component that is amplifying your your thoughts and your desires and your prayers. This is what, it's like moths, you know a flame, the brighter the flame, the more things you attract. But our fear of this light, because your ego places sort of a veil and then disguises this light and reinterprets it as something threatening or something to be afraid of, something that's going to get rid of all of your comforts, something that's going to take everything that you have. You're going to risk it all. So keep that door shut. Don't listen. Keep your head down. Do what you're doing and survive. See, because he doesn't want to tell you, or it doesn't want you to know that beyond that is all about thriving and in prosperity, in unlimited expression of talents and light. Now, one of the things that the angels have been talking to me about recently is because I suffer with this sort of in a very um, critical way, which one is imposter syndrome, and then just getting stuck on the thing that I fear the most. So incompetence is where I'm easily um, caught. So if like if I don't know something, like I don't know a lot about finances and and taxes and LLCs and this kind of thing scares me so much because I don't want to make a mistake. And so the thing is, or a relationship or confrontation. So what they've been telling me in the last few weeks is to look beyond. So yeah, your ego is telling you this is the worst. It's okay, go through it, courage. And whatever happens, but think about what's going to happen afterwards. You'll be free of your fear. Whatever you discover, you'll be free of that fear. And now, what do you want to replace it with? Like what would you do now if you didn't have this in your way? And to start focusing on what's beyond. Because what's beyond is where all the opportunities that God has already prepared for you. It's beyond that wall of fear. And we really have to treat it like a practice. I'm feeling this, I'm worried about but once I'm beyond that, and just put your attention there more. Every time you're drawn back to that, but go back there. Catch yourself and go back there. Keep completing that picture, that fantasy of what's possible. But write these things down to inspire you so that you remember what you're really aiming for, so that your goal becomes not your ego's fears, but the unlimitedness, the unlimited possibilities and opportunities for you that God has crafted for you in answering your prayer. Because out of your every fear that you feed the universe, you also send the signal of solutions. This happens automatically. Both happen automatically, but our free will gives us the ability to choose where we place our energy and our attention. Wherever your attention goes, energy is drawn automatically. Because your attention is like an orbit within itself that attracts energy towards that orbit. So you don't have to worry about an outcome. You just have to focus your attention. Just focus your attention. Don't worry about it not being consistent. Just keep honoring your intention. Whatever your true intention is what you're automatically going, where your energy is going to accumulate. So you could be afraid of everything, afraid. But if your intention is like a mustard seed, I mean, if your intention is to place your attention on the opportunity or the gifts that you might bring once you're no longer, then that is where your energy, where your orbit will reside, not in your fears. No matter how much you are convinced otherwise, or you feel like you're sucked in or drawn into it. So the message here says, the angel number that I saw before says, the angels can see the positive results of your prayers. They can see it. That means if they can see it, it is done. It is real. And they want you to have patience and stay optimistic while the final details are being worked out in heaven. This is an urgent call from the angels to keep the faith. They see it, but you have to have patience. And this period where this energy of like April showers is the best way to for you to think about it, because you're going to be feeling this as intensity. You're going to be feeling this as a sort of amped up anxiety, or restlessness or frustration, or um, just all kinds of things wherever. And specifically pay attention, it might in those the particular areas of your life where you are conscious of this energy, these flares, these emotional triggers. Well, this energy that's pouring in is drawing you out. Let's just be, okay? It's drawing you out. It's drawing you out to face this with courage. So no longer are you meant to stay inside. You are safe. You are fully protected. And if you need a little extra, just remember to call upon Archangel Michael to place his cloak of protection around you. And they were also today, a dragon was coming through. When I saw, let's see, and I pulled the end. Okay. So it's the source dragon. Now, when I saw this card, I saw the word expansion. So I think we're going to be seeing dragon energies, because I was not going to, but then I kept seeing the dragon. And the dragon was holding sort of an orb of light. Here we see sort of a spiral of energy. And we see that he has the infinity symbol above as well. So the dragon is going to be, the source dragon says, be still in the silence. Magic can happen. Be in the moment. It attunes you to the infinite. Okay? So you can call upon the source dragon to touch your energy centers, your 12 chakras. And whatever you need to feel, to be still, right? To be still in the midst of the chaos, work with this source dragon to bring you, to align you with source. So to shore up your connection to source and be still, be in the moment, be present. One of the things they kept saying was to breathe in this week. Breathe, breathe, breathe. This is a very important thing for us right now, to really breathe. This is where you need to start in terms of facing the energy. So breathe until you feel soothed, until you feel the energy calm down, because you need to retrain this reaction to the ego's interpretation of everything, which is a threat. And that's why you feel the anxiousness and you can't focus. Don't move through that, meaning don't what you think you're moving through it like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing it. No, you're actually avoiding. That's choosing to escape. But you're saying, but I'm doing stuff. I'm getting, no, you're choosing to escape. Take the moment, breathe, face that frequency, the energy, because it's not the energy you think it is. This is our homework for right now. This is step one, to be able to transcend our ego. This is step one. It's very important to be able to turn that mechanism off. That's the goal that they're saying ultimately, is to turn this mechanism off. It's interference. It is out of balance because of this idea of separation or individuation rather than oneness. Whatever you're feeling, there are other people feeling it too at the exact same time for the very same reasons. There is nothing that is targeted towards you alone. There is nothing that we do that is just about us. It never has been. When these downloads, I'll go ahead and call it this, come into our lives, they are happening for the collective. It has always been. However, your talents are called upon to serve the collective or to be present for the collective. That might be unique, but it's still all for the same purpose. So therefore, we have to now, we've got all the spiritual awareness, tools, etc. We know we know what to do, but now we need to face, I don't want to say face the dragon, because dragons are part of the angelic realm and they're not really our adversaries, obviously. But we need to face that illusion, that fear, that ego related concept, so that we can begin to take in the frequencies of peace. Because, and what I mean by peace is that the universe brings everything to you in peace, but your ego has scrambled that awareness of the peace and relabeled it as a threat, and we believe, and so therefore we shut down, close the doors. And again, manifestation cannot happen if that occurs. So our hearts need to stay open. Okay, so let's take a look and see which archangel we're working with this week. Okay. Archangel Mario, and the message says, manifest for the highest good. Manifest for the highest good. Work with pure love. So Archangel Mario is another universal archangel, who works with our soul star chakra. And so this is indicating that we're bringing back all of our soul gifts and our spiritual power with a whole new sort of a whole new strength, okay, or tour de force. And Archangel Mario sees sort of the light here that's emanating from him, and his color is this magenta. So you can sort of surround yourself or ask him to place his magenta light around you. And just breathe that in and feel his wings, wide wings, multi-layered wings, just enfold you. And he's asking you to call upon him to work with you when you are asleep. So he can help reconfigure your soul's awareness and understanding of your light, of your soul's divine essence and its power, so that you can begin to express the influence of this spiritual power and all of these gifts in this lifetime now for your divine assignment. When that time, that step, when you're ready for that step. And he's wrapping you in this velvet cloak with that is magenta and with a white fur lining the outside of the entire cape. And he wants to help you to feel safe and comfortable being yourself, being comfortable in your own skin. All right, let's take a look at I'll just move these up here. I might have to move these crystals a little bit to the side and keep just their messages here. All right, so we run out of time here. All right, let's take a look at the first card for the beginning of the week. And so we have the Magician card sort of resurfacing again. And I like just drawn to the way that she has her hands open here. And right now, all you really need to do is be open to receiving this energy, letting it flow through you on a daily basis, calling in this new ascension information and asking that the universe bring it through in a way that you can receive it in the most compassionate and gentle way they're writing. Now, this does not mean that it's going to change if you need to overcome something. So it might present itself as confrontational only because that's the path you need to go through in order to realize it's not real. So that because this way they're telling me too. So the magician energy concept here is that they're training you to work with higher frequencies of downloads. So higher frequencies of energy downloads. And that means that some of them are extremely powerful and they can shake you to your core. But that also means that they can liberate you very rapidly, or to clear out energy very quickly and completely remove it from your entire paradigm. So you want to learn to work with these different levels of frequency, of energy. And the first thing to do is to face them. What your ego is telling you is that you're facing some fatal event. But what you're actually facing is the different ranges of frequency. Some gentle, but all of them are equally potent, meaning powerful. They are equally, they can be used for construction or destruction. But the whole point is that they have different attributes and characteristics, but they're equally powerful. and you need to face them. They're trying to help you to recognize them in an energetic form. Your mind might not be able to put a label on it, and that's a good thing. But through the experiences, you've already been working with these energies. It's a part of life. But you are afraid of some, and some you're not. And you say to yourself, well, this person came across so nice, or this situation was so nice, but then it turned out to be like this. Because you're looking at things face value and not really paying attention to the energy, the elements that you're working with. And there is you first have to respect them. And the first thing is not to be afraid. You have to learn to be neutral in order to really respect the different energies and to have these powers work on your behalf. All right. Wow. So we've been getting this card a lot, the Five of Cups. And um and this kind of reminds me, although it's a little dark here, but here's that showers energy a little bit, right? But in the background, so one of the ways that you got to be triggered is around grief, and not just loss of a loved one through death, but regrets and disappointments in your life, the things that have grieved you, the things that you're still holding on to, that you can't let go. These are acting as emotional triggers of resistance to this beautiful ascension process. And so you need to respect the qualities of these experiences that you've had. Your ego labels them as failure, debt, loss, but what they were powerful elemental energies that was helping you to process information and lessons. And until you respect all of your life experiences equally, you will be afraid of some and not afraid of others, when you shouldn't have fear of any of them. You should, it's almost, I feel like it's almost looking at it scientifically. It is they are what they are. They did what they did. They've manifested in you in this way. You should be curious, how did this manifest in me? Because these compounds of energies have created the type of magician, the master that you are today. And you have become a master of all of these gifts that all of these situations have afforded you. But the reason that they delay you in seeing your magnificence as a master is because you relate to them through the lens of your ego. You relate to them as defeat or regrets or sadness or victimhood, etc. All right. I just remembered I forgot the card from the bottom of the deck. Let's pulled it out. All right. Let's take a look at the card. Okay. This is the Ten of Cups and the Orca Wells, which are 10th dimensional. And they, like these whales, bring in that 10th dimensional frequency of the Christ light, that they move through all the oceans and the waters to keep our the planet's frequency high. So the Ten of Cups shows that once you once you confront these experiences in your life with a sense of empowerment, you will then start to feel as though you're emotionally um, in a state of fulfillment and satisfaction, oneness with everything, because you understand everything, but you're no longer fighting it or resisting it. You're facing it and letting your light amplify the light within it to show you the light that you've cultivated through together through this process of life's journey, the human experience. Now, all of this information, all of these experiences go return on the higher realms in the ancient schools of learning in the higher realms as wisdom that the entire universe benefits from. And here we have here the three of pentacles. So this is showing a relationship of working together. And not only on a level, spiritual level, but a level of in our lives. This means that you're going to start to develop or find that your reality starts to turn into one of cooperation, of working together, working attracting the people that you need to help you to launch these projects, these things that you've been delaying. As you work through these experiences um, which have caused you to suffer and create delays in your life. So if you're able to really embrace this week all these elements and embrace your soul's natural gifts and these new downloads that are coming to help purge away some of this grief that we have that holds us back, then you're going to find that everything starts to work together for the greater good. You're going to find that your expansion, birth here, you're giving birth to your ideas. These ideas are now starting to take root in a physical way, in terms of action, in terms of cooperation and support, is the best way to say that. All right, so this is an incredible lesson and opportunity. Remember, this is going to last for about a period of a month. So don't be afraid of what you're feeling, the uncomfortableness of it. It is now on purpose to help you to um, to break the pattern or the connection, the normal interpretation you have with energy as it's working for you. All energy is always working on your behalf. There's nothing that does not serve the light, because the light and the dark are both sacred halves of the whole. Even though our free will, there are people who create evil, they do evil things. But as we have seen within the last 5-6 years, even those people fail ultimately at what they do, because they just end up triggering more people to wake up and to stand up for the truth rather than their lies. And yes, there are a number of people, but ultimately, we are all, no matter which side of the aisle we're working on here, we're all triggering the same outcome, because our collective um, purpose for coming here into these physical experiences was to help with the ascension process. So this intention has the highest frequency. And all we got to do is stop fighting with the illusions and start working with the clarity of the light within you. And let that light of your intuition navigate you towards justice wherever it's needed, towards integrity wherever it's needed, towards compassion wherever it's needed, or healing, etc. Whatever the world needs in order to be better, you will be guided by this light. Do not be guided by your ego, as your results will backfire. And so I'm not telling people not to be advocates or any other words I can think of that I'm not thinking of right now. Most definitely, we have to do something, but you do it guided by your inner light, because this has the divine blueprint that will align with this ultimate blueprint of peace. The other might get you a little bit of ways, but if it's done through the ego, then the ego is what's going to respond to that. And so another ego move will be made, and it'll just be compromises. And not to say there won't be compromises on the path of light, but whatever the path of light does, it does so with full understanding of what the highest good, because there's still lessons that are being worked out that need to still take place. And that's something we don't understand, but we're going to need to. We're not going to fix it perfectly, but we're going to do what's best for the overall plan and its integrity to expand and then maintain. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.